This is between us.
Yeah.
I've been telling people, I said, if we could just cut up all like the trash talking that people have had on this, like the hot mics, I was like, man, we would be.
Well, as you can imagine, once we start hosting this show, I also have a take on BevNet.
Yeah, I can imagine. I will own some of it that I did not know that the can was going to say BevNet NRG.
So they just didn't like the ownership, like they didn't say, oh, you're allowed.
Literally.
So we're talking about this. This I actually know quite a bit about. So I wound up having dinner with the Resource Label Group team before the show. Oh yeah, it was definitely the appetizers and most of the mains. It was dominated
3 days
by like all that work just being destroyed.
They destroyed our property. Like
That's the
there's a
unfortunate
line.
thing of it all. Like the work, the sweat, the blood, the tear, like all of that. I mean, there was a lot of stuff that got.
They didn't know that we had a whole warehouse of it next door, though. That was the funny part. Was they thought because we brought in like 180 to the event because they had like limits on how much we could bring, and we had to run a whole run.
Yeah.
So we just had all of it.
You
in
can't
LA.
make 13 gallons.
Right. Yeah, exactly. We just had it in LA, and so when they destroyed it, we were like, we have to act angry about this, but they don't know that we have a whole warehouse about it. So like we made a big stink about them destroying our property, but we had like 10,000 cans, and they destroyed like 100. It was funny. So.
Yeah. Well, the worst part for me is, so I was like working with like the Sensapure guys and MacroCap guys. Like I got everyone sort of take, and I'm like, no worries. We want it. We need it. We are desperate to have Beverage Forum 2025 product, right? So everybody was all about it.
We really wanted to do that.
Yeah, we're going to spike the ball, and then somehow Don't Quit stole my project.
Is that what happened?
Yeah, so that idea morphed into Don't Quit Protein.
Yeah.
And that became like the super collab, right?
Yeah.
And I was talking to Melanie, who is like
But aren't we
amazing.
doing Dino Energy, Dinosaur Energy?
That's what I wanted,
a
Dino
whole-
Energy.
I was just going to say Dino Energy. Let's do it. I'll do it.
Whole like dinosaur,
Yeah.
like reptile kind
I'm
of
sold.
like
Yeah.
feel on it. Yeah.
Prehistoric vibes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I want it. And then she goes, well, it was actually kind of fun to work on a commercial project. Like that product's actually going to be available for sale.
That was the goal when we had, I don't know where this conversation went. It was kind of disappointing, honestly. We wanted to do another one of those and commercialize it.
Yeah.
The problem is it was uncommercializable. That was the entire point of the project.
Yeah, it was so
not.
ridiculous with the ingredients and everything else,
It was
right?
like 16 plates on the label. Like,
You could see though that there's elements of it that's like permeating around, like like I think that was the that point that's now gonna sprout out other ideas from it because people saw they can do this, which I think was the point of it
the
all.
entire goal was for it to be a calling card. Because if you imagine, I think we were quoting 10 companies in total were like collaborators, right? And if any of those companies made a major sale, it was a success.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm not sad if like Rev 7 you talked about the other day has aspects of it, and it's still commercial. And that was the cool thing is like someone asked me like, do you feel like they copied it or like? I was like, no, it's three ingredients and a cool label, right? Like Don't Quit's protein soda has thermochromatic elements in the label.
Yep.
Like when it gets cold, it changes colors.
Yep.
That's cool.
Lets you know how much protein you've had.
Yeah.
It's a pretty neat idea.
Yeah, I
Because
saw that on the
technology is kind of looking for, it's like a solution looking for a problem.
And there's a lot of really cool things they can do. They can do photochromatic now too.
So we use it on this. When
I
it's
didn't realize
green,
that
the
was
palm
model.
trees are green. Yeah.
Yes. So that's a great use of it. That was the whole thing was like all these ingredients. We'll step back even further. You'll love this analogy. So when you go to NBA games, there's guys sitting on wood that are wearing Jordans that are not out. They're friends and family.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to make a friends and family product for shows.
Yeah.
So
See, I looked at it like a capabilities demonstrator.
exactly, and that was the whole thing was like a couple like.
But can we make cool stuff for just our friends?
Just our friends. And when you walk around the show, when you walked around supply side, there were these pink and yellow cans that people were holding. Like, what is that?
Yeah, but honestly, I had some of those around my office. That product was delicious.
It was great.
Like that lemonade flavor was delicious.
It was surprising to me. Like I had a thought in my head, and I think a lot of times because I've tasted so many products, you kind of have a sense before you even taste it how it's going to taste.
Yeah.
And I was surprised. I was like, well, this is much better than I thought.
Yeah.
Which is a testament to the work that you guys put into it.
Yeah, it was so everyone on the team was like the best in their vertical, which was what was so cool about it. And my job was like to wrangle them together. And so like the flavor guys collaborated with, for instance, what you're talking about with the flavor is that the ketones are incredibly like they're acidic.
Yes.
And so we use that for a lemonade.
Oh, lean into it.
Yeah.
Yep.
It was 90% lemonade and 10% pink lemonade. So we called it lemonade, but what we really liked was the 10% sweetness of that little pink factor. That just, it took all those insane. I mean, you looked at the ingredients; they looked like it was going to taste like crap.
And I apologize for my ignorance, but when you and I were talking yesterday, you were like a price comparison website. What was the role that you had in the super group?
I have a lot of different hats. Is like kind of the problem. It's like,
I dig the Dodgers hat though, by the way.
Did you get that last night?
I went last night. Yeah, I just wanted to wear them in LA right now.
It's like wearing the concert tee. I get it.
There you go. So, because I run this like host of media and content in sports nutrition, it's allowed us to like create a network where then behind the scenes we get to do a lot of consulting and kind of do fun things. So this whole project came from basically I make content every day, and I wanted to make opportunities for myself to make more content. So like what we were saying behind the scenes was that we were manufacturing an organic moment because these were all partners of mine. Like all these companies are all clients that I do content for.
Okay.
But like, how do you market novel ingredients? I like, they're all my friends and they all know I respect them, but I generally think that market is pretty boring in terms of like content and marketing and like, campaigns.
Well, it's to create the content, something has to happen and you have to capture it. Like if nothing
Exactly.
if nothing happens, there's nothing.
Yeah, and so like if you go to a lot of these like branded ingredient Instagrams or LinkedIn's or whatever, it's just static images.
Yes.
Which are fine. You know, you can sign up for their event at Supply Side and you know, there's not a lot to it. So what we wanted to do was give them an opportunity to do something fun. Because they rarely have that like an opportunity like that. You go around Supply Side, they have beautiful booths. Not a lot of fun activations.
I always called it beige. It was just lots of beige.
If you're into it, it's a great beige.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, but it's.
But so then you become the link then, I guess, because a lot of these businesses are sort of competitive. Like they don't sit in the exact same lane, but there's a lot of overlap between some of these businesses.
So I'll tell you the story. It's a cool story. I live in Princeton, New Jersey, and a couple of the guys, the main three guys, were in town with me. And we were at an old Princeton University bar. We had a couple to drink, and I was telling them about this idea that Macrocap and I were going to make like 500 bottles of just like a friends and family thing. And it would seem like Josh was going to have one. You know, I was just going to give them to people who other people would ask, what are you drinking? And then we were all sitting there, and my friends TK and Joey Savage, they have this thing where they don't let me say no. They don't let me do things small. They always want to like multiply my projects. And we all realized through this conversation that if we work together, we could make this absolutely massive. So I ended up calling Macrocap from the bar and was like, what's the minimum order that you guys can do? Which is kind of like, it was like 20,000, but like to do it efficiently, we settled at 50,000. I was like, can you do that? Can you run that all for free if I get you all the ingredients for free and the flavor for free?
So you want the line time for free?
Exactly. And so the idea is that these 10 companies all donated a service in some sort. And it was just a collaboration that nobody paid any money for. No money exchanged hands except for like shipping.
Yep.
And just gave out 50,000 of them at a show just for fun.
And that was a supply side product. That was a lemonade product.
Yeah. And so
that was my funny thing is I'm like, man, what's he going to do with that product then? Because like I'm in this business. I hate having product around because it'll swallow you.
That's what we did with it basically was in return for the product, we gave everyone a pallet.
Okay.
So we got to supply side and each booth had a whole pallet sitting in the back, which was something like, it's like, I can't remember, 12 cases? No, not 12 cases. 120 cases or something like that. It was an insane amount, but we had been hyping it all the way up to the show, and they were all spread around the show, so it was like a scavenger.
So you actually had really good distribution at the show.
Yeah. That was the funny part was we did this in 8 weeks, by the way.
Well, that's what makes it interesting. So like I was challenging Melanie. I go, I want a Beverage Forum can. Like, where's my can? And she goes, next year we'll get you a great can. And I'm like, nobody wants to wait till next year. I go, we've got Beverage Forum UK in October. I want one for that. And she goes, October, that's pretty tight. And I'm like, but that makes it fun. If I give you unlimited time, it's not interesting.
Yeah. The problem is you were asking Melanie, who's reasonable. Like, I'll do that for you. We can do that. That's really cool.
Mission Impossible, take the show on the road.
Yeah, absolutely. I know people in the UK that could do it. But that was half the fun, was like getting to the finish date.
Mm-hmm.
Because we had to design, put the whole thing together, formulate it, flavor it. And we went to each location and filmed.
No, it's great because like when ABC goes, we're going to rebuild your house. They don't do it in a year. It's a cool show because they do it in a week.
Mm-hmm. And we now have an hour-long documentary about the whole thing.
That's killer, dude.
Yeah.
Is it available right now?
Not yet. Yeah.
have to hold
This
my
is
breath
actually
for
a
that
great
drop.
opportunity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When's it coming out?
Yeah.
Well, this is actually a terrible opportunity. Not a single podcast has been distributed yet.
Really?
Yeah, we have.
You filmed a few yesterday and today, I see.
So we started on Friday. We filmed some on Friday, some on Thursday, Monday. Like we've been getting them, but nothing's been released. Nothing's been edited.
It's a completely new idea.
Yeah, we're just creating content. So
really cool.
anything you say in here could be out in 3 months.
I'll work with you on it. I mean, yeah. This is what we do. So I mean, we can maybe I can edit for you something.
Yeah. Well, I'd love after this. I'd love to connect you with my editor Jeffrey.
Cool.
And figure out maybe where the bodies are buried. I'd love to pick your brain.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you guys just rent this booth, or like how does this work?
So this is an embarrassing story, and I'm glad you're letting me tell it because
Okay.
I've been sitting in this booth for 2 days, and everyone's watching Josh and I sort of snuggle on this side. So originally we had a sponsor. The company was called Room or something like that, and they sell these rooms. Like if your corporation has open floor plan and you want to choose someone's ass, you need one of these little conversation pods, right? For whatever reason, it fell through. I think it was because they couldn't get it here on time, or it just fell through. So the event company that did all this production for us, like the stage, the sign outside, we asked them if they could build one for us, and they built it. So I come and I see this thing, and I didn't understand that pivot. I missed it. Like that. Luckily, the staff is able to keep that from me.
Mm-hmm.
And I look at Christine and I go, why didn't we get a bigger one? I go, Room wouldn't give us a bigger one. And she goes, oh no, we made this one. And I go, why did we make it like this? Like, why isn't it?
It's rather intimate.
Why isn't it 18 inches wider?
Yeah.
And then I realized, oh, the women that were involved in this are all about 110 pounds and 5 feet tall, and there's probably plenty roomy for them.
Yeah.
That's really funny.
And then I asked the production lady, I go, why did you make it this size? And she goes, well, one, those are the dimensions you gave us. And two, it would be expensive if we made it bigger. And I'm like, more expensive than what? Look at this event. Like, what, another $500? And then someone smarter than me looked at it and goes, oh, this is 4x8. This is one piece of plywood. It's just less cuts and less materials.
Amazing.
So here we go.
It's great quality. I mean,
Well, Josh had a good idea. Josh is like, why don't we just put 2 axles under it? We could tow it around. Start
yeah,
taking it
Just, like,
places.
just take it around with you, just bike it around. I mean, it's so small. You can just.
Yeah, we're going to start going to festivals with it.
you could do like a comedian in cars, but you could just be like
Yes,
getting towed. Yeah.
That sounds dangerous, and I'm in.
Yeah, just a little bit, but you can take the show on the road, literally.
So that's how this came about. I thought it would be cool to have kind of like a fishbowl experience. Last year, we had a different podcast come in and host. It was Taste Radio Guys.
Oh, cool.
And theirs had a lot of energy, and I thought the sound quality was great, but they were like mic'd up headsets. Like they were trying to create a quiet space that didn't exist. So
Yeah.
this is actually a quiet space.
You've done a couple of public podcasts, like
Yes.
the Muscle Farm one at the
Yep.
Arnold, and I kind of do
You been to
them
the
now.
Arnold?
That's, I mean, that's where I grew up at, I guess. Is technically, I mean, I'd been there since I was like in high school, but then.
Oh, wow. So I'm just now getting into bodybuilding, so I hear stuff like that. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, I mean, I never was really into like the sport of bodybuilding. That was never my
just
thing.
like the
I mean,
dudes.
like anybody else, you picked up those magazines as a kid, and they were superheroes to you.
Yeah.
You didn't
Yeah.
understand how they got so big or what,
That's why I
but
was
you
into
just
wrestling.
thought, wow, look at these guys. Yeah, same with wrestling.
I
That
talked to
was-
Hulk Hogan yesterday. I almost cried.
Yeah,
I'm like, you were such a hero of mine. I was taking my vitamins and saying my prayers like a good Hulkamaniac. And
fascinating to me.
I was like in my own head, and Hulk was like, good to hear, brother. Like,
I've heard that a million times. Thank you.
yeah,
I was like, I'm from a broken home, and my dad wasn't around very much, and you were here for me.
But that was like my first, I guess, shows was because I was in Ohio and it was an easy
Okay.
kind of drive down to do the Arnold Classics, things like that. But yeah, I did a podcast and they did it kind of right in the middle of their booth, which was like, it was awkward in the sense that when you have ADHD, you're looking around because you just see everything. Where here, I actually forget there's people out there because it's almost soundproof, almost to the point where you forget that the rest of the world's out there.
Well, at some point, we need an establishing shot so people understand what's here, and we're not in a closet someplace.
yeah, yeah. Like a wide angle outside to get the outsider's perspective on people in the box
Yeah.
would be kind of funny, actually.
Well, Danny's a movie producer, and he's like, oh, we just need a shot from the outside to start every podcast.
Yes.
I'm like, oh, establishing shot.
yeah,
Perfect.
exactly. It's pretty funny. But yeah, it's, the Arnold is a venue for many people. It's just like you don't really care about bodybuilding. It's just kind of like you go because.
Well, we started seeing some brands that are like, we did a deal with, Jimmy Mannion, who owns, IBBF, and we're going to be the only brand. And they get some decent traction. And the thing I like about that sport is you've got a ton of influencers that are like 100,000, 800,000 that a lot of people haven't heard of. But in that community, they're well known and well followed.
Yeah.
I would think you know your way around a mic at this point.
I think something's, you know,
It's
there's
my
like-
it's
I
my
think- I
bad
think
stuff.
The whole box is,
Yeah.
It's my bad stuff.
Yeah.
I think it's better if you line up the mic
That's
with
what
the
I
foot.
just did.
Yeah.
The interesting thing about sports nutrition, and this is, I shouldn't talk in front of Josh, but this is more Josh's topic to speak to authority on. But you have the people like their entire day, like the lifestyle is so like 24/7 that like,
Oh, yeah.
you can get them much more into what you're talking about. It's a very, very, very dedicated community.
So I just hired a coach, and he's like, and these are the 6 things you're going to eat. And I'm like, why is there just one day? And he goes, repeat,
Yeah.
repeat,
Yeah.
repeat. And then I'm talking to these other guys, and they're like, you're going to get really good with sauces.
Yeah.
This is a lot of like
understand seasonings,
mustard,
very well.
yeah,
yeah, you're
no
gonna love
calories.
those aisles, those like.
I was like, oh, ketchup? No, it's got sugar.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's a whole bunch of brands that do the no sugar kind of. I mean, they're artificial sweetenered up the wazoo, but they kind of taste similar. to
Dude,
them.
I'm into it. Like I'm making Ninja Creamies now, and
Yeah.
I'm
You're
meal
deep into it.
prepping.
You're
Yeah,
deep
I'm
into it.
Do you know Joey Swole?
I know the name. I don't know who he is.
He's in LA. He's a big.
Okay.
influencer.
I mean, I've never
Big,
met him.
big,
I know who he
big
is, yeah.
Influencer, like really big, like internet movement type.
Yeah,
level. And he owns a company called Taste Flavor Co.
Okay.
I'm not compensated by them at all for saying this,
Yeah.
but they do a really
Shout
good
out
job.
Taste Flavor Co.
Yeah, really good job. I use them on everything. It's
Yeah,
really
yeah.
good.
That actually, I will give them a thumbs up on that too. I'm thinking the guy that was one of his business partners I had met, and good, definitely good guy. Definitely like they are trying to get a certain part of the market. Like it's obviously not appealing to everybody, but it's for that sub niche of people. Like when you can't have those or you choose not to have those, everybody can have them. It's just that
Remember
people choose.
Flavor God? Like the
Flavor
Shreds
God,
brand?
yes, yeah.
Like that. I don't
Actually,
know.
from the same
Yes.
grouping. Yeah,
That's
it's
why-
all the
that's where
same.
it
Yeah,
took me there.
I might have ordered that. Is that still a new Is that still a current product?
It's still around.
Still around.
So
yeah.
I just ordered their sampler pack.
yeah, they have like pizza seasoning and this.
They're
like,
very good.
Yeah,
So what I like about Instagram is it's good at keeping up with me. Like as I change hobbies, like I pick hobbies up and put them down, but when I'm in balls deep, right? And the good news is Instagram is able to keep up, like because now it's all Ninja Creamy recipes
Yeah.
and low calorie eating. And
Yeah, I totally understand. It's funny though. The reason I bring that up, I'd love to know what you think about it. Like there was a moment in time where I felt like everyone carried a 6-pack bag.
Yes.
Like some sort of gallon accessory and had like a ton of sauces and powders for food. I don't think less people are eating healthy now, but no one's talking about those seasonings anymore.
it's interesting because I do think there was a moment when that used to like totally embody who you were. Like, and I think those brands, because a lot of the other mainstream brands didn't speak directly to those people, like they, I think, really championed them. They like really wanted to show them off. Where I think now it's become such a societal norm in a lot of cases that people are less willing to like stand out. Like,
Yeah.
like it's just a normal part of their day to day. Over where you wanted to. It's kind of. I mean, you think about beverage as a whole. A lot of that is like showing off your personality. Like it kind of before, if at the happy hour last night, like if you were to look at what that person was drinking, you could almost size up what kind of person they are.
This is
But that's
I believe
badge
this.
value, right?
I love this so much. I believe this, and actually it's funny. Today we're doing a piece of content, so I'm gonna hawk my own shit for a
Please,
second.
no, that's what you're here.
So PricePlow is a dietary supplement channel. We talk about novel ingredients and supplements there. We launched a new company called BevLab Media, BevLab. It's going to be just PricePlow for beverages.
Okay.
So I'm doing a lot of content at Beverage Forum.
Good, we're glad to have you, by the way.
Thank you. And so what we're doing today is just going around to experts. What are you drinking and why? Because I 100% believe that the drink you hold in your hand is like, status symbol might be an aggressive phrase.
It's an accessory to you. It's like
Yeah.
It's
part
a
of
flag
yeah.
that you fly.
Yeah, and that's why I'm really bullish on non-caffeinated like experiential drinks,
Yes.
because everyone has a caffeine limit. We can joke around that we all drink a lot of caffeine,
Yeah.
but we all do want to drink less caffeine.
Yeah.
I think we all agree
Yeah.
on it, And so, like this only has like just over 100 milligrams of caffeine.
But see,
I
I'm
like
drinking
that.
Gorilla Mind with 500 milligrams in a powder. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know that I'm honestly trying to drink less caffeine.
Well, here's my thing. I put it all into my pre-workout. Like I allot in
Yes.
one area, and then the rest of the day, like there's Rev 7 drinks here that are it's ketones and cognizant.
Yep. Both. I
Phenomenal.
love both those like ingredients too.
Phenomenal. Yeah. Like I'm big. I think ketones are a big trend for that because, and I mean micro trend in most honestly, but
But the badge value is interesting. So when I was working at Keurig Dr. Pepper 20 years ago, I was part of this ideation team where they took this really nice hotel and they brought in these guys that were going to teach us how to think outside the box. And some good ideas came out of it. But one of them that we thought was good was a male enhancement product. And I'm like, no one's gonna want to walk around with a boner drink in their hand. Like that's kind of a low key thing. I'm like, guys that take a Viagra sort of do it under the table,
Well,
you know?
it's turned into the opposite because now there's like the chewing gum, like the blue chews and these
Yeah.
types of things where like, yeah, it's actually moved in the total opposite. So that was probably not going to be a good idea for anybody to do that because I don't think anybody wants to
Yeah.
show that off. Maybe if you're like a 70-year-old guy that wants to still show everybody that he's got something left in the tank. I don't know.
But are you showing that you have gas in the tank if you've got it in your hand?
I don't know. At least you're saying, hey, regardless if I do or I don't, I'm ready to show
You're
up.
definitely down to party.
Yeah, I'm ready to
I think you see this though. I think you've talked about this with like hymns and Roman and stuff though. Like there's been a bit of like a renaissance around the topic. I think it's also like the switch from like the whole longevity to health span. Like it's
Yeah.
kind of cool to talk about virility.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, maybe
Yeah.
not like boners, but like
Yeah.
male virility is probably the best word.
Well, the interesting thing is, like, you look at guys talking about Zyn, and, you know, this is a bad example, but it's the one that jumps to mind. It's like Tucker Carlson talking about how, you know, nicotine is like, you know, the
Like,
beginning of masculinity.
I consider myself to be like a health professional,
Yeah.
but like I love nicotine. And I think it's been massively misunderstood.
I think it's between nicotine and tobacco, and that's where people are starting to catch up. So my good friends are the guys from Altria. They came to the show to kind of check out what's happening outside of tobacco, and a lot of those guys smoke, but many of them use nicotine just as nicotine.
Yeah, yeah. I'm also realizing with like traveling and stuff that like gum is a great alternative to it. But yeah, I think it's been misunderstood. And I think it's.
Do you mess with pouches?
I dipped in college, and so like pouches just something about paper against my gums just gives me like the heebie-jeebies.
Every time I see the Altria guys, they're always using these pouches. I'm like, God, this looks so manly. It's like
Yeah.
special operator shit. I want to try it.
I mean,
and
it's
every
like
time it gives me the spins and it ruins my
Yeah.
night.
And you feel like you're gonna throw up. Yeah.
It ruined 2 dinners and it almost ruined last night. So last night I'm talking to these guys and their product's called On. It's a beautiful product. It's well made. I really like it. But I can't tolerate it. So he goes, this is 2 milligrams. He
What is
goes,
it? Oh, on the yeah, the
it's their
tobacco-
version of
the
Zyn.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's their version of
Yeah.
Zyn. So, and that's what's weird for those guys. So, Zyn is owned by Philip Morris International, but domestically, Altria has to compete against it. So they sort of win both ways, but their domestic products are On. And he hands me the pouch of the package, and he goes, a lot of people on the internet will say this is like baby stuff because it's only 2 milligrams. And I'm like, well, clearly you got a high tolerance. Why do you like it? And he goes, well, I keep one in all day because I just keep switching it. So the low dose is good. So I'm like, okay, 2 milligrams, I can do it. 15 minutes later, I'm like, I'm going to get the spins. I got to get this out.
They're very strong. The Ons are very strong, and I feel like it ruined. I'm sorry if you're friends with them.
No.
Like,
He didn't make it. They just sell it.
that was the first pouch that I tried, and it kind of just ruined them all for me because like I dipped tobacco, like how
Yeah.
bad, and I was getting like the spins and
Like Copenhagen?
Yeah, dude, I loved like some. Yeah, they had
Can you make it
Southern
the noise?
Comfort. Yeah, I can do the. Yeah,
When I was in high school, all the cool guys could make the noise.
yeah, I can do it.
I tried it one time and I threw the can on my shoe.
Yeah,
I moved my foot and there was perfect outline in tobacco where my shoe was.
yeah. I didn't do it for very long, but I don't know. They make great flavors. It's like a functional food in some ways. You know, it's a misunderstood herb.
It's yeah.
What else about California is that you can't have flavors in California.
Neither in
Is that supposed to keep kids away from it? It's
Yeah.
weird.
Yes.
Well, I mean, dude, my vape's pink and blue. Like kids want to use that. I understand it. After this whole like suing with Ghost with like marketing to kids, I had all these commenters like
Yeah.
comparing it to nicotine, and I'm like, we all knew that vapes were like they were marketing to kids. Like,
Yeah.
there's no question about that. You know?
Yeah, all the Joel like story behind that, like they've uncovered too much of that to know like there was an intention behind it, which is like, I mean, that's their MO, tobacco industry from long, literally probably the most fascinating industry though to like understand just how they could, I want to say manipulate, but influence purchasing and like what they did to engineer certain products to our taste buds are whatever. Like even when they owned all those food companies, like probably people need to uncover a lot more about that. It's probably one of the ones where there's so many secrets buried, or you probably know the guys that have the skeletons that we need to talk to. That's a good podcast.
No, my guys are good guys.
Yeah.
I mean, you didn't have meta ad targeting back then.
Yes.
You had to get really
Yeah,
creative.
yeah.
It almost makes me feel like, like they say we don't have the technology that we went to the moon with. You
Yes,
know, like
yeah.
This is becoming a good podcast
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
Now we're talking about moon mission.
Didn't happen.
Yeah, you don't think so?
No way.
Do you have an opinion on this?
What shape do you think the Earth is?
Oh, it's round. But
Okay.
we did not go up there. That was all propaganda because we were trying to win the war of the.
Do you not have an opinion on this?
So here's what's weird. Up until COVID, I believed a lot of stuff. And then after you go through
Yes.
COVID, it's like, I don't think we went to the moon.
Yeah.
You suddenly realize there's a lot of engineering, social engineering that's going on at all times.
I have a friend.
It does seem weird we've not gone back. Like, that's hard to beat.
You were telling me in my pocket that I have more technology than they had, but yet we can't. We're not just landing there for fun all the time. It's just weird to me. Like,
So-
just
I have pretty intelligent friends that have given me like the reasoning on what that
Yeah,
that
yeah.
is a really funny line that we don't have the technology
Yeah.
anymore, but like we have cell phones. It's a gross misrepresentation
Yes.
of what it actually is, and you're intelligent
Yeah,
enough to know
yeah.
that. But also, there's one specific strand of evidence that, like, I'm not saying we need to go to the moon, but there is one really interesting thing: is that the government has admitted that in like the TV showing and like the video that we know of it, some of the video that we know of with the moon landing was faked.
Yeah.
They did not have enough video to put together like
Yeah.
the full campaign, and some of it is training video that they painted out the wires.
I've heard that. Yeah.
That very small, like that tidbit,
yes,
really ruins my whole buy-in.
yeah.
Well, the other thing too is I guess a lot of the tapes were destroyed. Like the government thought, well, we won't need these, and I'm
We won
like,
the Cold
wait a
War.
minute.
We
The
won,
government
we won,
has
and everybody's
yeah, the
positive.
government has records about everything. They destroyed the moon mission stuff for space reasons.
I can't tell if this conversation is more likely to make the podcast get published or not. I started like panicking. I'm like, wait, I'm screwing it up right now.
I think it keeps getting better.
Okay,
We're
good.
gonna have tinfoil hats on in 10 minutes. I'm in.
Well, I podcast with a lot of people, and sometimes when conversations go this way, I start to get an email afterwards like, hey, can we cut like this minute to this minute?
This might be the only released on mine because they're like, well, we can't.
Yeah, well, that's the deal I have with Josh. It's like I'll give you all the raw, do with it what you
That's
want. So
hilarious.
there could be
That's
two.
really
There
good.
could be a director's cut and a Josh cut floating around
That's
about
really-
this
I
one
got
interview.
no rules. We could
like
release
that.
whatever. It's just me. If it checks my
Josh
standards, it's okay. It's good. It gets
That's
released.
good. Josh got
Yeah, that gives me enough plausible deniability. I'm like, yeah, I was there, but I didn't release it.
Yeah.
Josh is a madman.
Yeah, we gave him everything. We didn't dictate what he could and couldn't do with it. He made himself look really smart and us really dumb. I don't know why we did that.
What else, Ben? What other things do I need to know about you? Because I've learned so much about you just in the 2 days. I'm like, how have I not met this guy before? I mean, what are the stuff you're excited about? It sounds like you're involved in a little of everything. What are you excited
I'm
about
really
right now?
involved in dietary supplements. Dietary supplements are like where I live and breathe. I like beverage, and we're trying to get into it, but
And how deep in dietary supplements? Like, is it
I feel like
bodybuilding
it's
or is
better
it
for
soccer
Josh to
moms?
describe what I do than it is for me to describe what I do, because like I feel like you might see it from the outside better. If you had to explain what I do to Dino, how would you explain it?
Yeah, I think they're an authority in terms of kind of disseminating the information, but like taking it, digesting it, and giving it back to a number of different stakeholders. So like they're speaking to the industry, the B2B side, all the layers, if it's supply or the brand owners, those, but also speaking to consumers. So letting them understand not like this tastes good, this what it's more of, why this product exists, what's its potential, what's important about it, how you should approach it. So it's kind of taking a much more, I think, I want to say refined, but like there's depth to everything in terms of the content they're putting out. So there's this vein of influencers that just really do reviews, which are very much like anybody else, like, oh, that tastes great or whatever. Like, it's one person's opinion, which it doesn't really help anybody. They need to understand why this product was put together through the ingredients. Is there synergistic value? Is there some depth behind the science? Why is the science telling them to do like it kind of takes a formulator's view, but it gives it in a more digestible way to the consumers. But it's become so many things to so many different people, which is good and bad. And it started, you mentioned, started as a price comparison, like because the founder has a tech background. So he really was like, I'm going to create this. And this is early
Scrape the
internet
internet
days.
for pricing.
Early internet days where
That's
like
where
you
the
didn't have the ability to understand across, like Google didn't have shopping where it just told you everything. So you weren't able to do that. But now it's morphed into this media side of things that services a bunch of different sides of it, which in our, I guess, world, there's not a lot of them. There's the old media, but there's nobody putting it in a format that is entertaining and educational and attractive to maybe younger people. It's not the, the staunchy old
That was
kind of way.
perfect,
Yeah.
What I realized, I watch a lot of content creators on YouTube from like tech, photography, videography, and you see a lot of like Apple will give release items to certain YouTubers on, this like super like escrowed content production campaign.
Yeah. So
And-
here's your Apple Vision, and you
yeah,
know.
and if you show anyone before the date, we kill you type level. And I'm super inspired by those kinds of people. I think those kinds of relationships are so cool because Apple could make the content themselves, but there are content creators advanced enough in marketing capabilities that they can do.
Well, they have huge audiences, right? They want
Right.
the audience.
And no one's doing it in supplements. There's like Nutrition Ingredients, Nutrition Business Journal, and stuff like
But
that.
the supplements thing's super interesting because, like, I don't understand a lot of stuff. Like, I hear people talking about, like, oh, I take about a coffee cup of vitamins every day, and I'm like, well, what?
If you,
What am I missing?
And so the cool thing is, if you follow my content,
I'm
and
going
you
to.
just like, that'd be great. And if you follow it casually, you start to get enough content coming through your feed where you start to pick up the ingredients because. My content is a mix of short form and long form content. We have a podcast where we bring experts on, but on a daily basis, you're learning about new ingredients in the market, new products in the market, and kind of like the sway in between. So like new ingredients come out, we cover them as they're released, new data, new studies, whatever. And we kind of work with ingredient companies to show how they go to market and then how you see it in market as well. So you learn about the components and the products, and all along we're going to Sensapure. To do flavoring. We're going to contract manufacturers to show behind the scenes. We go to every expo and show behind the scenes at the expo.
Got it.
So it's like a look behind the veil of the scenes.
And
Got
for
it.
you, it's important because I think the blending or the blurring of lines, like most of even the people that you guys work with, a lot of them have either functional ingredients or nutraceutical ingredients or things like that. And sometimes they come to you and they probably tell you these things and you're like, I don't know what the stuff is, but you get a sense because most of it's incubated within the supplement industry and these powders first, but they have the stability or the high acid or high temperature ability to run through a lot of these things. So you eventually see them permeate into the beverage space, but it usually starts into that like epicenter of innovation because the barriers are so low, which is supplements.
And so because we put all these people together and we're able to create such like organic content and like commentary on the industry, we were able to launch a consulting business on the back end where we end up helping create products and help bring them to market in conjunction with our campaigns.
Nice.
So
Well, it's cool, dude. I appreciate you giving me your time,
Yeah.
and I look forward to like continuing this conversation. I don't know why it's taken us this long to meet, but I'm glad we did.
I'm excited. This is really cool. I love your show. Congratulations on all the success.
Thanks for coming, Ben. I appreciate it. Whatever I can do to help get you access, if you want any of this raw stuff, yeah, it's yours.
Thank you. I
Yeah, thanks,
appreciate
bud.
it.